From the private studios of the Sports Super Genius, you are listening to the podcast of George, the Sports Super Genius.
Super Genius.
He's getting your views and opinions out there on the news you want to hear.
You heard him on iTunes, the World Wide Web, and YouTube. He's covered the College World Series, MLB, the NFL, and college football. Now,
here's George, the Sports Super Genius.
All right, I put 1 week down in college football, several more to go. This is George, the top 25 YouTube video cast. Anyway, going back to my college football, a lot of people gave me a lot of, what for saying Tulsa should have not been in the top 25. I don't go by that. Tulsa played their heart out this weekend. That was an outstanding game if you did not see the East Carolina game. But, going into my top 25, I have to say why mine's better. Because, I don't go by the bias. I go by who's winning and who's losing more so than who's in, than what they want to know is, who's going to bring them the most money come bowl time. I'm not into the bowls. I'm into the best 25 college football teams there are playing. I had Alabama ranked number 1 3/4 of the season last year. No one gave me any credit for that. I had, like I said, Boise State and TCU were in it all year. There's just so many things happening over everything that I had going on that, it's just that I get sick of listening to the NCAA. I get sick of listening to everybody else say that, who deserves to be in, who doesn't. The blacklisting of, or the death penalty of SMU alone is just the thing. Like what Reggie Bush and USC did, to me, is more pathetic. Everyone can say, oh, I didn't know this or I didn't know that. But you know what? Screw all that. They did know. And they just choose not to know. Colin Cowherd says it best week in and week out. Who generates the most revenue on TV? But you know what? If that national televised game of Tulsa and East Carolina was on where people actually watched it versus switching over to something else because they didn't think the game was good, that was one of the best games I've seen since the old Miami of Ohio against Marshall shootout of Roethlisberger and Brian Leftwich. That would, to me, like I said, you had to have seen that game. It was one of the best games I ever seen on TV. But yet, very few people seen it because they just didn't care what was going on around him. But anyway, going back to my top 25. People will be surprised. People will say whatever. But UTEP and Houston are going at it this weekend. That is going to be one of the biggest games Friday night. That I think it's on. UTEP is trying to say that they are back. But you know what? By my rankings, I hope everything comes out the way I think it will. I think it'll be a great game. You got a future NFL quarterback at Houston. UTEP is trying to prove who they are. SMU had a great game against Texas Tech. Everyone considered SMU down. They came back and almost won the thing. Nebraska, they played Western Kentucky. Nebraska's got Idaho before they kick off their hard season. Alabama is playing Penn State this weekend. That's going to be a big game. That game is going to be huge. So, like I said, a lot of big stuff happening in college football. That's why I have my own top 25. I'm not going to waste much more time about it. If you have something you guys want to say out there in YouTube land, all you video casters and bloggers out there, podcasters, let me hear what you have to say. Send it to me at george@thesportsupergenius.com. And you know what? Your opinions can actually get you paid. No one else says that. It takes a lot to get you $5, but you know what? I will award a $5 prize pretty much whenever someone sends me something that's really good and I can actually use it. But I'll use everything because I am the one who does not silence anyone. My name is George. I am the Sports Super Genius. Tune to me at my Sports Super Genius website, www.thesportsupergenius.com. I'm at Facebook at The Sports Super Genius and also at www.thesportsupergenius.com, both fan sites and Facebook. Check them out. I'm giving away an Arch card a week until probably the first 2 weeks in December. All right, my name's George, and I'll be right back after this with your top 25.
Here it is. Unbiased, pure work of genius. The Sports Super Genius 25 best football teams.
All right, no reason to wait. Here we go. Coming in number 25, University of Fresno. Number 24, Missouri. Number 23, BYU. Number 22, Penn State. Number 21, East Carolina. Number 20, Nevada. Number 19, Air Force. Number 18, Houston. 17, Georgia. 16, Missouri. 15, UTEP, University of Texas El Paso. Number 14, Wisconsin. 13, USC. 12, Texas. 11, LSU. Number 10, Auburn. Number 9, Michigan. Number 8, Oregon. Number 7, Utah. Number 6, Iowa. And now for my top 5.
The number 5 ranked team.
From the University of Oklahoma, the Oklahoma Sooners.
The number 4 ranked team.
Returning to the top 5, the Nebraska Cornhuskers.
The number 3 ranked team.
From Boise State, the Boise State Broncos.
The number 2 ranked team.
Texas Christian University Horned Frogs.
And now your nation's best team, ranked by the Sports Super Genius.
To be the man, you've got to be the man.
Even despite playing a weak opponent in their opening week, I still have to give it to Alabama. TCU and Boise State, 2 teams out of the BCS, is in my sights for Alabama's number 1 position. Of course, they got to continue to win out. Boise State's going to have a hard go at it with their schedule. But, Nebraska is knocking at the door. Oklahoma has a tough game against Florida State this week. It is going to be really something to see Nebraska against, Nebraska trying to see if they can move up to number 1. That's something that's unheard of for a lot of people. A lot of people saying Oklahoma's going to take it. Well, first they have to get by Florida State. Then they got to play Texas every year. Nebraska is going to play Texas this year. And I'll tell you right now, Nebraska has the easier of the Big 12 schedules, even though, their own conference is pretty tough. Everyone wants to take them down before they move to the Big 10. But like I said, I just see it being Nebraska and Alabama. If Alabama can get through everything they have to get through. Will it be Nebraska against one of their own Big 12 rivals, or is Iowa going to step up? Like I said, I see other things in people's years this year. People are talking about Penn State. People are talking about Ohio State. Iowa is very tough. Don't ever knock them down. Michigan is playing like a ball of fire. And then, so like I said, before anyone goes and tells me anything, let's wait till the dust settles. I think my Big 12 prediction is going to be correct. It's going to be Nebraska coming out of the Big 12. But Alabama, I'm not going to take nothing away from Alabama. Alabama has been number 1 for I don't know how many weeks in my poll, all the way back to about week number 5 last year. Like I said, Alabama, I take my hat off to you. I think you won't have too much of a problem taking off Joe Pa this weekend in Tuscaloosa. It's going to be a game of the ages. Alabama, you're number 1 again. Congratulations. All right, my name's George. I'm the Sports Super Genius. I'm signing out for now. I got a brand new podcast out there on iTunes. Go to my website. I'm giving away some Arch cards. Become a fan of my Facebook site. Like I said, so many things happening, and I got so little time to do it. And again, this here's George. I'm signing out for now.
Thanks for listening to the Sports Super Genius podcast. Hope to have you back as a listener. And want your opinion shared and get paid? Email them to george@thesportsupergenius.com.
Super Genius.